Hey guys, welcome back again from Tampa Bay. Going out tonight to meet my buddies Rich and Dave to have some cigars down at Blue Smoke, a cool little local lounge in Clearwater, right across from the big mall down there. First, I needed to get some gas though. I forgot. I was pretty much on fumes coming back from last time. It's one thing I don't like about this bike is the way they do the gas gauge, where it gets down to about 1.5 gallons left and then goes into a false digital reserve and then starts counting up. So it gives you a really accurate range until you've got about 50 miles left. Then it blanks out the display on the right. You going right, dude? And then it starts counting up. Well, it doesn't exactly tell you how much you have left, because until you run it out to pretty much nothing, you don't know what it's going to end at. So it doesn't do you a lot of good. And it's just leftover from the days of carburetors, where you had a separate feed tube for the actual reserve switch on the petcock. And that was to remind you, hey dude, you need to get some gas. But this is completely different. It has nothing to do with any of that. There's only one feed tube. Well, it's actually down the bottom of the tank. There isn't any feed tube. And there's no reason this couldn't operate like a car and just keep counting down until 0. It's just backwards. But, yeah, it's Yamaha. They are slow to change, let me tell you what. Anyway, you get used to it. It's funny to see all the newbies that get FJRs, and as soon as it starts blinking, they fill up, and they're like, I thought I'd had a 6.6 gallon tank. I only got 4.5 in it. Yep. That's about right if you fill it up when it starts to blink. And the other thing is, it starts to blink if you have it on the side stand 0.5 gallon even earlier than that, and you can see it stopped blinking now. I've got almost 2 gallons in the tank. It is mighty chilly out tonight. It's got to be in the lower 50s. Since I started out on the low fuel, it blanks out this display, but you can turn it back just by basically telling it to turn itself back on. And let's see. How cold is it? I'm going to turn on my grip heaters first of all. Florida life. It is 59 degrees. Feels colder than that, have to say. Living right here by the water, it's only a couple blocks to the front of me here. The humidity really does make a difference on both ends. A lot of people think it just makes you feel hotter in the summer, but it makes it feel colder when it gets down below, especially at night too. So if you've been watching the channel here for at least the last couple months, you might have seen a couple videos where I mentioned all the fatalities right here on this road, US 19 especially. Well, I wasn't the only one that was noticing, and since Christmas, the last month, all 3 counties in the Bay Area, Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco, are really cracking down on motorcycles. Not just the usual stuff like the pretty much nightly races on the bridges. They are starting to shut it down. The big thing is, they have helicopters in the air, it seems like 10 times as much as they used to, and multiple, and they're chasing motorcycles, and they've got a lot more undercover cars. And in the local groups, you can see everybody complaining about it, which is just fine to me. It's funny when they even post pictures or video of when they were chased or pulled over, or especially when they come in the groups and they say, oh, yeah, they tried to get me at an intersection. I went around them. That's called evidence. You're just an idiot. Just yesterday, there was yet another fatality. It has seriously been 3 to 5 a week for the last few months. And last night again, kid racing in the middle of the night. They're all organized, you know. Hey, who wants to go race tonight? And he was cruising through Clearwater on a curve, killed himself. Taco Bell. Love Taco Bell. I just saw a cool little documentary, I guess, or history video. I can't remember who it was by, on, oh, it was called, shoot, what was that channel? Really, Today I Learned. Something like that. Today I Found Out. I think Today I Found Out. Really good YouTube channel if you haven't watched it. And it's just about cool stuff that, you know, you don't really think about, but once you see the video, you're like, oh yeah, I always wondered about that. Origin of word, interesting stories about the history of something, you know, like Taco Bell. And I worked for Taco Bell when I was a kid. I always loved them, always loved their food. And it was just interesting hearing about how it all started, originally as a hamburger and hot dog stand. And the guy's name was Del Bell? Shoot, now I can't remember his first name, but his last name was Bell. Son of a bitch. Freaking gas station seems to be closed. Out of order. This is like the only ghetto station around here. It's in the middle of a, like, druggy neighborhood. Just a real piece of shit neighborhood. One of these old, cheesy 30-year-old buildings. Everything else is real nice and modern and clean. Guess there's a reason this one's always empty. I stop here because it's one of the convenient ones on the right-hand side of the street. But I'll stop at this brand new one here now instead. New racetrack they just built. See the difference? Shithole compared to modern. So I was going to go down last night, to the beach. A lot of people have asked me for a better walkthrough of the pier. I've done the video tours of Clearwater Beach a couple times and gone by the pier and talked about how they have a show there called Sunsets at Pier 60 every Friday night. And a buddy of mine, another local photographer, is doing a series on the performers and vendors and everything set up there. So I was going to go out and help him, just be a light stand holder basically, and give you guys a tour at the same time. But we had to postpone because this freaking cold front rushed in. And if it drops below the mid-70s, nobody comes out. So it was a ghost town last night. But I will be doing that with you guys as soon as it warms up. We're shooting for next weekend. It should be back to normal in just a couple days around here. So that should be pretty cool. I haven't been down there to the actual pier in years. I like the looks of that new Honda Civic. It's a little boy racerish, of course, but I think that's exactly what they're going for. Overall, it's a nice refresh. I'd never buy one. Way too small and plasticky for me these days, but my 20-year-old self would be all over that. I saw another car that I'm conflicted on the looks, because it looks awesome to me one way and really bad another. That's the new Miata with the retractable hardtop. I saw it on YouTube. A couple channels did a walkthrough of it kind of thing. And with the top up, I think it looks so cheap. I mean, it looks like a freaking Del Sol to me. Just horrible. But you drop that top and make it into a Targa, I think it looks really good. That's another car, though, that even though I love the way it looks, I would never, ever consider buying it. Number one, 33 grand and up for it, which might be excusable if the specs were better, but the thing doesn't even have 160 horsepower. That's a freaking hamster, man. My Kia Soul has that. I know how slow that is. And yeah, I know the car is a little lighter, but I mean, these days, that kind of money gets you 250 and up. Easy. In lots of different cars. Some of you know that we had a couple different Mini Coopers, which I absolutely loved back in the day. They just sent me a survey as a prior owner kind of thing, wanting to know about my experience, what I thought about it, what kind of problems I had with it, would I buy one again, what I get now and why, blah, 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 blah. And I'll tell you what, I'd still be in the Mini family today if it wasn't for the horrendous out of warranty reliability. And even the in warranty in the case of one of them, they were just not reliable cars, period. I'm not talking about little stuff. I'm not talking about annoyances. I'm talking about big stuff, multi-$1,000 part breakages, in and out of warranty. I'm talking about a clutch going 3 times in under 60,000 miles. I'm talking about turbo parts going where a little hose costs $400. I'm talking about a harmonic balancer that at 50,000 miles decided to just blow up, taking out the power steering with it. I mean, it's just thing after thing after thing. The frame on my 2005, where the strut comes into the bodywork under the hood, was deformed. I mean, just huge fundamental problems in both of ours. We had 2 different generations, 2005 and a 2007. Mine was the supercharged S and she had a turbocharged S. But man, if they were reliable, I would still have one. I'd probably have a Countryman right now. I just love the way they look, love the way they drove when they worked. Great cars, and for the money even, not a bad deal. Really good resale, awesome sets of features. I just loved them. But I have to say, even though what I got now, the Kia Soul, is dead nuts reliable, there is absolutely nothing special about it whatsoever. It is, wow, somebody is really blazing. It just stinks up the road. Whew. There's a cop, kind of, I think he's following me, because he's not passing me. He's right to the left of me here. He's got to smell that. Jeez. It's got to be this guy right in front of me, because it is like he is standing in front of me. Wow. See if he does anything. Oh, Largo, he's out of his jurisdiction. I bet his window's down. Somebody is. No, it's not him. He's on the phone. Somebody up there. Anyway, the Kia Soul is just as basic transportation as it gets. No special features. But you know what? The thing just works. I've got 50,000 miles. I've done nothing but put on tires and put in gas and change the oil. I can't complain about anything on the damn thing. It starts up perfectly every time. Nothing is broken. Nothing even seems used. The car is as tight as the day I bought it. So is the wife's, and she's got 40,000, just over 40,000, and both of them feel and drive like the day we drove them off the lot. How much more can you ask for she paid 17, I paid 15, just because I got it a year old. I mean, come on. So no complaints. Now let's see if I can remember what driveway this is in. I overshot it last time because I was thinking I was going to Total Wine, which is next to it, a little farther down. About the only places I go down here. I never go to the mall. That's just like Teenager Central. I haven't shopped at a mall, like actually wanted or needed to go to a store at a mall, and I want to say it's got to have been at least 5 years. I can remember the last time that I went to this big mall here. This is Countryside. This is the biggest one in the county. And it was to buy an extra battery for one of my drones because Brookstone was the only place that stocked it, and I wanted it that day. That was the only time I have gone to this mall in years, purposely. Oh man, do these grip warmers feel good. If you're an FJR owner, don't forget to watch my video on how to customize all your setup menus and everything, because part of that is customizing the 3 grip warmer presets. When you get it out of the box, it defaults to the lowest setting, the medium setting, and the highest setting, but there are many in between settings. See, I think I overshot it again. Oh, I think it's because I can't turn a left right from that road, because yeah, it's not this far down. All right, let me flip a U-turn real quick. But what you can do is customize the settings. So I made what's on the screen high a couple notches down from the actual highest setting, because it's so warm that unless you have big thick winter gloves on, it's too warm. It burns your hands. So now with my gloves on, yeah, see, it's hidden back here. I just overshoot it because you're just into that center turn lane. That's why I always wondered why I kept overshooting this. Now I know. So you can customize the screen and actually use high, medium, and low, and not just limit yourself. Because what I used to do is just use low and medium and kind of hit high for a little bit because it was too warm. But now I just leave it on high, and it's the most comfortable I can stand with it on all the time. All right, guys, I'm going to hang out here for a while. I got a weigh-in tomorrow, so I'm not going to have any beers, just cigars. Besides, I had chicken fingers at IKEA today with the wife, so that was my big meal of the day. I'm going to call it a cheat meal, but it's the only thing I've had today, so got to get good numbers tomorrow. That's it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to me, see more, and we'll see you next time.